Ladies and gentlemen, the government shutdown is over. Who would have thought, honey? Okay. The longest government shutdown in US history has ended after 43 days. Yes, 43. With a handful of Democrats crossing party lines to pass the short term funding plan. The measure funds most of the government through January 30th, 2026, and covers key social services through September 30th, 2026. One major sticking point for Democrats, right, as we've expressed in previous episodes, was the reason why they weren't voting for the funding bill is because they wanted an extension of the health insurance subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. And guess what? They did not. That wasn't something that is a part of this short-term funding plan. So all of those 43 days that they spent fighting for the healthcare, they still ain't get the healthcare. So some people see that as like, what was the reason? Like, why you have waited 42 days to then fold, anyways. But anyways, let me continue my little summary. So the subsidies under the Affordable Care Act did not go through and will now face another fight. Federal workers are expected to return to work immediately, and many will begin receiving back pay soon. With temporary funding in place and a deadline still ahead, the relief is temporary but real. So, several things here. I am happy that the government shutdown is over, because as we were expressing, like the consequences were increasing and more people were being affected, right? Like from day one, the federal employees were being hit the most, right? Because some of them were furloughed or they like stopped working, their paychecks didn't start hitting, and then it was increasing to like people didn't get their food stamps right at the start of November. The flights in several major airports were, decreasing, delayed, canceled flights, all the things. So, yes, something had to come to, they had to come to terms with something, right? Because it was like too many people are being affected by it now. And it's like, y'all can't keep playing with us, right? But then it's like, this is only temporary, right? The funding bill is only good until like January and up until September, in terms of like for the social services, like the food stamps and WIC and all those things. And I'm like, my thing is, do you think it was worth it? Like in terms of like the Democrats, right? Because on both sides, Republicans were like, this was a Democrat led government shutdown. And then the Democrats are like, oh no, like the Republicans are the reason why we are in this government shutdown. And then fast forward, and it's like the Democrats didn't get what they wanted from the get. So it's like, what, y'all should have just voted on day one and kind of like,
my whole thing is, right, I'm very much the type of person who's like, I like to show people or let people learn their lesson by experience, right? So I get it. Democrats are saying, "Oh, this is why we did it. We were holding our ground because we want to make sure that things are better for you, for the people that are going to be impacted." And I get that. But we also have to acknowledge that a lot of people who do fall in under that umbrella of impact are also some of the people who voted for Trump. So it's just like, I get what the bill was saying, and I get that a lot of people are going to be impacted. I get a lot of people are going to, when it comes to the subsidies, like their insurance rates are going to go up. Some people might lose it. Like I get that. But if all these Democrats keep saying that Trump is bad for this, Trump is bad for America, let people learn through experience, honestly. And I get that, like, the shutdown impacted so many people, and like y'all were trying to stand firm and this, that, and the third, but what was the reason? Because y'all didn't even get what y'all said y'all wanted to do. So
and that's really the thing where I kind of like, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because it's like when you vote people into positions, you're not there to like, or you put them there because you want them to fight for you, right? Or, politics is messy. You vote for someone, they claim they're going to do something, and then once they're in office, they may or may not do it, type thing. Right. So it's like, I see my people are hurting, right? So let me just get them this relief, right? Like I could fight, but only for so long, right? Like now I'm getting my constituents calling and it's like, listen, I need my food stamps. I need this. I need that. Like the first 2 weeks is kind of like, oh yeah, like I'm good, right? I still got a little savings I could depend on. But now we hitting day 40 and it's like, yeah, actually cut all of that out. I need my funds today. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know what the proper solution for this is, but I think a lot of times, oftentimes, Republicans always get away with whatever they want to do day in and day out. Like if they, baby, they don't care who's suffering. If they say they don't want to do this, they don't want to do that, baby, they will stand their ground and they will not do it. They will not pass it. They will not, none of that. And I think oftentimes Democrats don't follow that same energy. And I know, it could be hard because the Democrats are seen as like, they care more for the people. Well, depending who you talk to, it varies, of course. But like, it's just very hard, but I'm just glad that the government shutdown is over. They did agree on a short-term funding bill, but just know that as soon as we hit January, we're going to be having this conversation again and again and again. And it's just like, please get it together. But I'm happy that people will get their money.
And I saw a lot of people, like I've seen this argument, debate, whatever you want to call it, that these subsidies were never supposed to be something that were long term. It was like
Mhm.
mainly put in place after COVID. And like I get that, but I feel like a lot of people benefited in certain ways. So it's just like I feel like if we could have found a way to, make that so something could have been long term, not the whole everything that fell underneath the subsidies, but at least
Mhm.
like a little bit of something that would have been nicer for certain people that I know who have benefited in that way. But again, we learned through example.
Yeah. And
And
also like health insurance in America is so expensive. Like we had open enrollment at my job for like next year. And
like,
like there's so many things that go with health insurance that literally I did not understand. Like HSA and FSA and why you could put this and open this account and you got to pay $90 a month, but then you got the copay, and then this insurance lets you go to this like, why is health insurance
yeah,
so complicated in America? Like, and this is coming from someone, right? That like we are college educated, right? We understand English. We have all of these things that are supposed to, make it seem like, of course, we understand these things. But if I don't understand it, I can't even imagine like just the regular person that maybe doesn't have a college education, maybe doesn't understand the language. Like when I had NJ Family Care, honey, it was like they had everything figured out. But when you got to like, now I'm paying for my health insurance, and no shade, it feels like it's worse. It doesn't cover anything. I got to pay an arm and a leg. Like I had selected when I first got my job a health insurance, right? And I thought, oh, this is like the best option for me. And then I called to make like an eye doctor appointment because my contacts are running out. And you guys know I was unemployed, all the things. And when I called, I told them like, oh, I changed my insurance. So she had to check if this new doctor accepted my health insurance. And she was like, oh yeah, we accept it. We just have to pay like $100. I'm like, $100? I'm gonna have to call you back, girl. Mind you, this is on top of me already paying for my health insurance just to get an appointment, $100. And then probably if they do any special testing, which they will, because I'm like, my eyes are not the best, more money. And it's like, I don't understand it. And it's like America needs to do better when it comes when it has to do with health insurance, because it's ghetto. I hate it. And everything is so complicated. Like, why is it so complicated? Just give me a health insurance and let me go to whatever doctor I want to go to. If I'm paying.
yeah. I think for me also what's annoying because like my job just started open enrollment too. And
Mhm.
one of the things like I was looking like they were showing me all these different life insurance policies. I'm like, what?
Girl.
I'm like, and I get it. It's important to have, especially because like,
Yeah.
in America, you never know.
Girl,
But
not
I'm
even in
saying,
America, in life.
period, life period. Like you never know what could happen. And
Yeah.
so I was just like, yo, all these different, like they put I'm like, y'all got me scared to live.
Girl, it's
I'm
a
like,
struggle out here.
Then they talk about who's your primary beneficiary, your
Yes.
secondary, your third. I said, oh, y'all just plotting on me.
But
And then,
it's
and you know,
crazy.
like I've been going to like the doctors a lot, right? So like I'm not saying a lot. There's nothing wrong with me. Relax, y'all. I just my doctor likes to do a lot of
No,
follow-ups
you've
for
been
like
prioritizing your health because
right.
you hadn't for many years.
Exactly. So like, you know, there's a lot of things that like not a lot of things, but there's certain things that like me and my doctor are keeping track of and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So every time I go, girl, my copay goes up. And so like when I was looking at this new insurance, like through my job and everything, they were talking about
Mhm.
the copay just went up by like $5. And I'm like, yes, I got it. But like, what if I had like a really strict budget? Like, and that extra $5 was going to tip me over. Like I had no choice. Like I have no choice.
Right.
I gotta see the doctor. So I'm just sitting here. I'm like, bro, America, y'all know how to give me a migraine. I
But
can't
we
even
have
get
a
any medicine.
problem, a problem. Like literally every sector of life, like health insurance is just I don't it gives me a headache just thinking about it, child. I'm just like
Yeah.
every time I pick a new one and I hope this is gonna be the best one.